All right, my friends, welcome to Australia. Today we're looking at the Sydney Opera House. The Sydney Opera House is one of the 20th century's most famous and distinctive buildings. It's a performing arts center located in Sydney, Australia. Here we have our world map. We have Michigan up here. We have Berkeley down here under the thumb. And all the way over here, we have Australia. And Sydney, Australia is on the south side, the bottom side of Australia. So let's learn about the Sydney Opera House. It's considered a modern expressionist design. It took 30 years and $102 million to build the complete structure. It consists of multiple concrete shells that required at least 12 revisions to ensure proper sound and safety. They really had to revise their process as they worked because they realized that some things just weren't working. It's a really great example of artists who persevere through challenging times. The Opera House covers 4.4 acres of land. The highest point is almost 200 feet tall. And it's supported by 588 concrete pillars that go 82 feet below sea level. Inside is a concert hall, 2 theaters, a playhouse, studio, multi-purpose room, recording studio, restaurants, cafes, shopping, and an open-air venue for concerts. It's huge. What does it mean to Australians? It's one of the most famous landmarks, if not the most famous landmark in Australia. It has multiple performance venues in one building. They host more than 1,500 performances each year. That includes 8 million visitors for these performances and more than 300,000 tours of the building every year. It's considered a World Heritage Site, which means that the United Nations Scientific and Cultural Organization has decided that it is considered to be of outstanding value to humanity, which means that it's a really important building for the world. Let's look at some pictures of the Sydney Opera House. Okay, this is the outside of it. These are those shells I was talking about. So you can see how it's so famous. It's located off the tip of Australia. We see all of these shells nested inside of each other. And then on the other side, there's some that go backwards and some smaller ones over here. Here's a side view of the structure, and you can see the water all around. And then to help you understand the whole area of it, you can see how it's put on a large concrete platform and all those 588 pillars are underneath it. And you can get a better view of how those shells nest inside of each other. Now you're probably wondering what it looks like inside. Here you go. This is the big concert hall. You can see just how much thought and detail went into every aspect of this building, from the outside to the inside, to sound and making sure that everything was heard properly and that it was beautiful as well. Here's another picture of the side. I included several pictures so that we can use them as source material when we're drawing a reference. So I will put this presentation up and you can look at it while you're drawing. All right, my friends, have fun. All right, we're going to get ready to draw our Sydney Opera House. Now, if you are looking at it, we first need to draw the horizon line. So I'm looking at a picture from the side. I'm looking at that last picture in the presentation. And I'm going to go ahead and draw that horizon line. We're just going to use a pencil and an eraser today. And then we are going to go ahead and add the rest of our building. Now, we don't have to go and add every single detail like all of the sideboards and everything, but we can see that it kind of goes like this. And then it comes over, up, down a little, over, down, and then across, and down again. Okay, so I drew the bottom, and now I'm going to do the biggest sail first. So the biggest sail touches down like right about, I'm going to go ahead and add these in here. This one has a staircase coming down and a little line across. Okay, so we've got this line here, and this is where all those cafe windows are in that last picture. You can use whatever picture you want, but I noticed that the sail comes down right between where this wall bends and this wall or this window starts. So we're going to put our little mark there, and we're just going to come back a little, and then we're going to go over a little and go forward. We want to make that nice big sail and get that nice big arch on it. Once we get that middle one done, the rest will sort of fall into place. Now in between here, we have like a triangle and a smaller sail that comes off this side. And then over here, this continues on, and we have a little bit of a smaller sail here. So this has like a little triangle that comes up here, over. We've got a big sail coming off this side, and a smaller one coming off this side. Now we're going to go ahead and draw in those other ones over here. We have a line that comes straight down, and then we have this sail that comes out and down, and then we have another line coming down here, and another sail that comes out. Okay, so now that we've got that done, we're going to go ahead and just outline everything with a little bit of crayon. So I'm going to trace my sails with a little bit of white crayon so that they are preserved. Now I'm pushing really hard, and this is going to help me maintain that line around them when we go to paint these. I need to erase this crossover line here. Now I know that this part here is white, and this part here is white. I'm actually going to trace this whole side here with white. Okay, now it's kind of hard to see with the white, but often if you sort of hold your paper at an angle, you can sometimes see the shine of the white. So for me, I can see a little bit of it. It's hard to see on camera. Alright, now for the rest of it, we're going to trace with whatever color you like. I'm going to go ahead and use brown, because that is the color that we see under the building primarily. I'm going to go ahead and add that whole side down here. And remember, you're an artist, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You're allowed to do what you need to do to make it look like your own. And then we're going to put those windows in. And then we just need to put the dock in. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that little dock border right here. And then I'm going to add the lines. And what's going to happen is that when we paint over this, it's not going to show, because the lines themselves, it's kind of a fat line here, will resist the paint. This is kind of a stairwell, and this comes here. We can add some more lines if we want. We don't have to draw them all. Sometimes we just add a hint of them. And then along the side here. And we're going to make the windows one color, but the wood another. So while it looks a little bit weird this week, it'll look better next week. And I'm going to add the rest of these. Okay. Now, if you want, you can add some texture to your water, and that will enhance it next week when we add some paint to it. So if you want, you can add like a little bit of waves to it. Just some ripples in the water. It's not real wavy here, but we want it to look kind of like water. If you want to use crayons or colored pencils instead of paint, you can, but I'm showing you how to do the watercolor version. I could put some darker blues in here too that I see. Like I noticed that they're a little bit darker on this side, and definitely a little darker over here. If I wanted to add a little bit of highlight, like to show that their sun is touching the water, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of white in here too and show those highlights. On the picture I'm looking at, I see two. Okay, that's it for this week. Next week we're going to go in with watercolor and finish these up. All right, my friends, have a great